on-stream first, and I am a massive fan of on-stream firsts. We have a double faction face-off with our on the right side, Viktor making his way onto the battlefield, and in the other corner, on the blue side, Lux. Now, just walk me through this matchup, because it's not a mirror exactly, but we see the same factions doing very different game plans.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you can already see by the layout of the battlefields here, obviously Aspert's Klein by Lux. She wants to extend this battle. She wants it to go for as long as humanly possible. And then, of course, Grand Plaza played by Viktor, which means when you hold here, if you have 7+ units, you win the game. So very, very opposite game plans. Lux very much heavy into the spells, heavy into the removal, whereas Viktor is obviously just about getting as many units on the board as humanly possible. And I still can't believe I'm casting a Lux game. Like, this is got to be a first. This is absolutely got to be a first.
Christmas has come early for us, man. What an absolute little switch up of things. And this is not a bottom of the barrel match either. This is a 2-0 Lux. This is a 2-0 Viktor. So these heroes really performing at the top of their range right now. And also battlefields that you usually don't see all that often, increasing the cap to 8. And on the other side, just a complete shortcut altogether. So we are in. Forget everything you know about meta and what you're used to seeing at Nexus Nights. We're playing a whole different game tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not many people have probably even seen the Lux Legend. Obviously, she's behind the paywall of the Proving Ground set, so maybe they haven't even seen her. So we'll see what happens with this one. But so far, Lux coming down, sort of capturing the Grand Plaza, a very safe first battlefield here in game 1 from Viktor. And I'm interested to see like what kind of value they could get out of their champion, because obviously when you play a spell that costs 5 or more, you get to draw one. So I'm hoping to see some very, very big hands here from Lux.
Yeah, and the first few shots are already getting fired, as a Facebreaker will take care of just that little thing right there. Now, I will be very honest. When I see mechanics like these, whereas like when you play big thing, draw a card, I am already a little in doubt, and I'll tell you why. Because when you play more expensive cards, you are by definition playing less cards already. You know, more expensive spells means you're not going to play 5 cards in a single turn. So it might at times be overkill. But I've mentioned before as well, information is everything. The more cards you see, the closer you will be performing to your absolute peak. So I think there are a lot of questions that I can't wait to have answered.
Yeah, definitely. There's a question just being around audio issues. Have you got a stream open somewhere, Bandit? You can hear me twice. I think my voice is echoing a little bit. Just want to make sure it's clean.
No, I'm fully on headphones. I am chilling. I'm moisturized. I'm vibing, as it say. It has cleared up on my side, so if we can get it confirmed through either chat. Oh, you're not familiar? I am in the zone, chilling.
In the zone. Let's go.
I'm in my lane.
I mean, the speed at which these 2 players are going at it, you can tell they've absolutely mastered their decks. And we do see the Lux Crown Guard landing now on the game, which means that they can add 2 runes, essentially 2 play spells. So that gives them a lot more options when it comes to hand damage.
Yeah, and options are everything, especially in a deck that is looking to get a full haul in, to entrench themselves on these battlefields and work their way up through there. Now, for those not too familiar, I am going to remind us once again, we are playing with a battlefield that is upping the cap to win by a single point. So we're no longer looking at 8, we are looking at 9. The new magic number is 9. And this I really like this choice of battlefield as well, because it really throws off the pace that, let's for example say Kai's decks are looking for, right? Now, playing on the odd numbered victory points is a lot more beneficial than it was before.
Yeah, it makes the math a little bit harder in terms of like when you want to go for game and when you don't. It could really mess up like the Kaiser matchup when they've got all these plays. It's like the Annie matchup, for example, when they've got that Vi, to win on point six essentially. So it does mess up the game. But we see Viktor steaming ahead at 5 points at the moment, and it's looking really good for them. They've got a big battlefield here, but we haven't seen much out of Lux just yet.
No, not just yet, but look at the energy that is accumulating under this Lux's belt. It is getting into the point where you can start hitting off those two big 5 mana spells each in a single turn, looking to lay waste to whatever shenanigans this Victor is cooking up. Right now, we have yet to see the leader Victor come out to make absolute most use of these pseudo reanimation style tactics that a Victor is known for. But the sprites holding down the fort and enabling Victor to conquer yet another battlefield in his next turn, maybe even looking for a double one. And this is the singularity that will be answered.
Coming out. Yeah, deal 6 to each of 2 units, getting rid of the 2 big threats there. Obviously, the Sprite Mother and the Manufacturer going down. And that does swing it a little bit back in Lux's favor, but the mountain is getting steeper and steeper to climb here, I think.
Yeah, especially if you look at the lead that is developing, and that is a very large investment, and it doesn't really answer all of our problems now, does it? With all those extra little ant-sized threats swarming around on the board, it is really becoming tricky to find efficient answers as a Lux, right? We see the meta develop in a more going tall type strategy, right? Where we have a lot of power being vested in 1 or 2 cards. However, the Victor really takes advantage of most decks being geared towards a more elite heavy style of deck building, and now you can still maintain the advantage that you've had from earlier. The sprite will be taking its leave, but those points will only be climbing up and up and up.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, we are aiming at 9 points here rather than the standard 8. So, a little bit of gameplay to go yet. But it looks like since the beginning turns, both players have slowed their turn times down just that little bit. So maybe it's getting to the point where it's not automatic now that some thought is going into that. The hand size is still remaining quite consistent, 5 cards to 4 in favor of the Victor. So there's still plenty of options here. And we do see a bit of a scrap going down on that Grand Plaza. Victor looking to hit his win conditions. Still, all of his runes up. He's tapping a few now. What is going to come here? Or it looks like a Siphon Power, which is a great card for Victor, especially in these 3 versus 2 matchups. That's going to allow such a big cleanup on his side to gain control of the top battlefield. Bandit, what do you think about this sort of play with Power Siphon?
I think you are looking in a match like this, you are looking for card efficient plays. How many cards do I have to spend to answer your troubles in contrast to mine? Now, look what the investment that has been made, right? We are investing cards from Victor. There are tokens being put down. Meanwhile, a single answer coming through from the Lux will be equalizing that just a little bit. But it's a really a long con game. We are looking to get efficient returns on investments. We were just done covering 2 aggro games, which are very different. We can be a lot more aggressive with what we invest. From here on out, it's all going to be about managing your hand, making sure you are not over investing into battlefields that can be efficiently answered, giving your opponent problems that they have to make inefficient answers to.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's kind of Victor's play, isn't it? With all the recruits and the things that spawn tokens is you have to answer these in a very inefficient manner. And I'm just going to gain tempo from it. And it seems like that's exactly what they're doing. But Victor now down to 6 runes. Lux has 9 open, and it is the Lux's turn. But it's 7 to 3 on the points and not much on the board right now. So this is a steep hill to climb from Lux. I do love the pride of playing Lux in this event, and a big tap again for Singularity, going to clear the rest of that backline out, and Victor dying as well. And Lux swing this back on this turn. There's only 2 recruits holding battlefields right now, but I don't know what the Victor crackback's going to be.
It's not a whole lot holding down the fort right now, and I feel that the Victor has made a bit of a lunge, right? Investing a lot of their runes, sacrificing them to power costs just to make sure that they can maintain this lead, right? And they are not a single point away from victory. We are looking at 9 points for the game win. So this Victor will have to reinvest just that little bit, just a little longer. But I will say, time is on his side. He bought himself plenty of margin to be a little more relaxed, and he can endure this type of setback.
Yeah, I think like obviously with the initial rush of Victor, you kind of gain those points. It allows that mid game to be a little bit slower while you get your big pieces out, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. A couple more tokens being generated, a watchful sentry down for the card draw, and look, seems to have taken a bit more of a hold tempo wise to this. Victor, I'm not sure if he's going to have any removal for that Lux, and he doesn't. He just passed his turn and. We get Lux go up to 5 with a bit of build control now. So one or two more removal spells, and Lux might be in total control of this again.
Yeah, she is looking to get herself a bit of a foothold. Now, we know that Victors do have plenty of tricks up their sleeves, but they are usually building off of a platform in which you can solidify a hold, where you can build from units already sitting at a battlefield. Now, with just 5 mana up, you might just be looking at a turn through the pages, draw yourself some cards, and set you up for future success. But if the answers don't start coming in rather quickly, the Lux might be looking to take over this game completely.
Yeah, and the addition of the Sprite Mother with the Sprite token as well, adding 6 might to that battlefield is going to be a tall ask for any player really to take over. And we'll see what happens here. Victor on the response with Consult the Past, letting him draw 2. That's a fantastic card for this point in the game because he's going to have a lot of runes open on his turn.
Yeah, it really is showing off the whole spectrum on which Riftbound can play out. Where previously it was a race to the bottom. I'll be very honest, right? We have the champions duking it out on the battlefields. Well, here it really feels more like that grand total war type-esque type of plays where you really are managing your resources. You are looking for investments that pay off in a big way and really grind your way to victory. And I think with every minute passing, this Victor is getting happier and happier about the fact that the magic number is 9 in this game and no longer 8.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great play here from Lux, knowing that they can take control in that mid game, get their points back, get that tempo back, and potentially take a win from what is considered one of the strongest games in the meta right now. One of the strongest decks in the meta, sorry.
Big shots being fired.
Down. That's probably the worst thing to happen to the Lux right now. Watcher, just one of those cards that is played in almost every blue deck, if not every blue deck. I don't think there's a reason not to play Watcher, is there?
No, it's just so versatile, and it just brings so much power to the board. Just for the 8 mana invested and a single power, right? The double power to get it accelerated. You can answer so many things. You can swing a game totally back in your favor. And look what it's doing here. Even with just a limited amount of resources they have to their position right now, they still have the 2 mana up. If they can sneak something in here, they might be threatening a whole lot more. And to add on top of all this, they are not even going to score on their turn, the Lux, because that Sprite will not be holding down anything.
No, exactly right. As soon as the turn begins, just before the beginning phase, anything with temporary fades away, so you don't get the hold point. Unfortunately, it does add a little bit of defense to the battlefield. And a Watcher in response, just the Watcher v Watcher battles, and that's pretty much blue in a nutshell.
Yeah, and now we are finding ourselves in a bit of the awkward position where we find ourselves before, where what can we get done? Because this was quite a big investment, but the payoff, the advantage you're gaining, you're only getting rid of a single card, and yeah, that's beefy. And look at that, a Call the Weak will take care. 2 mana answer into your 7 will be disaster any day. And now, getting themselves up to 9, a single extra Sprite Mother will snatch them the victory if they can maintain control somehow.
Yeah, maintaining control is a massive one, and of course we see a lot of similarities between these two decks, even though they are different legends. Just the color combination of blue-yellow lends itself to certain aspects, and we're seeing that almost mirror for mirror here. The only difference is obviously Lux is able to spend extra mana, Viktor's able to put down additional tokens, and this might be the final throws of the game, but there are plenty of runes up and plenty of cards in hand, so let's see how if Lux can claw her way back into this. It should be interesting.
Yeah, and that is the trouble that a blue-white deck can run into, isn't it? When you're looking down the barrel of tempo plays and you need accelerated answers,
Another
they
one,
will find the one they are looking for, but that is a very big investment for very medium payoff, and they're just praying to any god that is out there that there's not another Cold a Week waiting down the line.
yeah, a single piece of removal here in 6 cards with 10 runes up. Can he find it?
It's
He's
two.
recycling 2. It's a hidden blade. And that might be all she wrote. I think it is.
It
Going
sure
to
will be.
9 points. And what a game. That was a really, really good game.
Yeah, what a conclusion to a match that looked like to be going Viktor's way, then became a whole lot more tense. But that is the absolute power of a Thousand-Tail Watcher, where he can find those incredibly efficient plays. And at the start, we said the game is going to be decided by who gets these more efficient plays out of. And playing a single card and answering 5 of them, that will get the job done any day.
On stream.
No,
I don't even
it's
think
a
you
treat.
get to see it in your locals, to be fair. But yeah, when you put out that first battlefield, it's almost like a. Do you know what? This is my neutral one. This is the one I'm gonna just put out
It's
there.
a throwaway, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be good, it can be bad, but generally, when you throw out like Trifarian Warcamp for Viktor, that means I'm coming at you hard here. I want to win this 2-0. I don't want this to go to a third game, and we might just see that.
Yeah, and this is what I love about Viktor. It doesn't really matter how you're starting off your match with. You will always be able to smooth out your turns with a little 1-mana token introduction. You'll rarely ever be inefficient with your mana usage. Now, Lux is throwing down the bodies on the board as if she is playing a Viktor deck herself, and will be finding a new home at Targon's Peak, getting those extra runes for her to be deceitful with, to see if she can mess about with these Vector's plans.
I absolutely love this start by Lux. Obviously, the Ravenbloom student buffed every turn you play. The Targon's Peak opening up runes so you can play spells and buff and damage. This is a really good start from Lux, and maybe, just maybe, we see a lot of tempo coming from Lux in mid game. That's where it lacked last match. So hopefully we can see that tempo build right up until the last point.
Yeah, and it kind of covers off that bit of an exposed flank that she had in game 1, doesn't it? Where a Cold a Week really spelled disaster for her and ruining any plans that she had left on the board. So by having just multiple bodies on her side of the board, it gives you options. And because you are the first player, you are chilling, you are vibing, you are ready to take it to the next level. Let's see if you can maybe expand her hand size a little bit, because that is the one thing right now that you would really require to back up a wide board that she has already got herself right now.
Yeah, well, don't forget about Lux's legend ability. When you play a spell that costs 5 or more, you do get to draw. So these big damaging spells actually replace themselves in hand. And then if you're able to play your Lux Crown Guard champion, you get 2 free runes as well, which is more than enough. So you're refreshing your hand, you're adding runes, and we see Stupefy come down on the top battlefield, minusing 1. The Poro goes in as Assault +1, bringing it to 4 might with the Warcamp. But Viktor is going to answer with a Siphon Power. That's a big investment, but it's going to knock Lux completely away from that battlefield.
But Lux still has runes up. Well, no, they will be finding the dirt. And with the Eagle going down, we'll be refreshing, topping up those runes just that little bit. And these are the type of plays that we were really kind of anxious about. Now, with a fresh amount of spells being played, this Ravenbound Spellcaster is a lot stronger than she lets on right now, and will be taking over control of the Trifarian War Camp, but that is a shaky hold at best if you're looking what the Victor is cooking. But retreating yourselves from Targon's Peak will mean you can conquer it again next turn. However, look at the lead that this Lux has gotten herself, allowing herself to gain such an advantage without investing too many runes already. Too much energy can now be siphoned over for a more developing play with the Legend of Lux coming through on the battlefield.
Exactly right. And if we zoom out just on that move there, where obviously Lux retreated away from Targon's Peak, you hit the nail on the head. Obviously, if you can reconquer, it means you get 2 runes at the end of your turn, but it does leave it open for a simple recruit token, which, you know, Victor's kind of known for, just to move over and go, you know what, this battlefield's mine. If you don't want it, I'll take it. And that's what we just saw there.
Yeah, and this Victor will have to build up camp once again a little more. Lux will be able to expand on her advantage just that little bit more, and a Lux deck, from the way we've seen it play out thus far, can really capitalize when an opponent is giving her breathing room to develop even more. Every turn that this Lux is allowed to stay on board is such a nuisance for our Victor here, because that is just value upon value upon value that he cannot compete with currently.
Definitely not. And obviously we're playing against a blue deck here. Now, there's quite a lot of spells in blue that just absolutely obliterate your base. So your units aren't really safe back there either. And Lux building up now a 5-2 lead. They are going to get the 2 runes at the end of the turn. They do have currently 5 cards in hand. So Victor might struggle to take some points. And if you get to sort of 6 or 7 points as Lux with runes up, I'm not sure if you can push through that.
Yeah, and even more bodies are grouping up together in this base of Lux, where she is looking for another disastrous push, reinforcements if need be, and we're only halfway through this turn.
Yeah, it's already a big turn, and Lux building that base up, leaving we've got 5 runes up, 3 cards in hand for Lux, holding both points. Victor does have a little bit of units on his base, but his champion's still not out, so he's not.
Yeah, 5 runes
generating
plus
value.
the 2 from Lux.
Exactly right, and they're not building up that tempo. Victor needs to build that mid game, but we do see an Imperial Decree. This is like the hidden tech card of Victor. Now that means that any unit that takes damage this turn dies. That's it. It's over.
Yeah, is it over? Because in the base, like you said, there are cards that can get the job done, but you're gonna have to have those answers ready, and they have to be ready now.
The response is recruit the Vanguard for Lux, which basically means he gets to play 4 recruit tokens, and they can be
now
played
she's taking advantage
anywhere.
of the Trifarian War Camp that the Victor introduced into this match, using Victor's tricks against him, and they're paying off in a grand way.
It wouldn't surprise me if Lux also runs this battlefield, so we might see her run it back if there is a game 3, and right now it's looking very strong for Lux. I will be personally getting this deck list, and I'm going to play me some Lux. What do you think, Bandit? Are you going to go Lux? Are you Lux main now?
Oh, dude, yeah, I've always liked Lux. I've been there from the start. I was always rooting for her. Now, this is really a new style of play that we haven't seen being represented at large tournaments, at small tournaments. We might be at the cutting edge of the meta right now, and those are grand statements, but man, I stand by them.
Right now I can't disagree with you. Lux looking extremely strong. Or not a single rune played this turn, 7 points, and look at that base. That is a Victor looking base right now.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, right? Even though we saw a quite a heavy lunge with Imperial Decree coming through, what did that really do for the Victor? Not a whole lot. So it really feels like the answers are slowly drying up, and they're not even keeping him in the race. They are pushing Lux further and further ahead, and we might be looking at the last little bit of life that is left inside of this Victor, who is holding on for dear life.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill struggle. That many units in base, that many runes up, still 3 cards in hand. Obviously, you've got the Lux adding 2 here as well. Can Victor make it back? He does have quite a full hand. It could be a comeback, but one little slip up from 7 to 8 and the game's over. We're not playing to 9 this one. We're not playing to 9.
Yeah,
It's
and
just a
that's
standard
the
8.
real thing here, right? Because Lux is not threatening on a hold. She is threatening on a double conquer. And look at look what's laying in her base. A single grand stratagem is absolutely lights out. Now, will they have gone through their deck and such a rate that they do get to find those answers? Lux enables that, I'd say, quite perfectly. Meanwhile, the Viktor, he really has to hold on tempo plays, get a battlefield, and entrench himself as fast as he possibly can.
Yeah, Viktor not really known for accelerated units. I'm sure there might be a Watcher in that deck. That would be a good answer, but I think it's too little too late, and Viktor's struggling with the plays here. I just don't think he has what he needs in hand, but let's see how this plays out, because I think it's about to flick over to Lux. And that might be all she wrote. As you said, one grand stratagem, one imperial degree. That might be it.
Yeah, that might be
Ooh,
everything
cards.
now. A hidden card coming through. And actually, could be anything. Could be Hidden Blade. But look what is on the field right now. We're holding on with everything we can. But as more and more runes are getting tapped out, I am feeling more and more confident that this Luck has an absolute chokehold on this game, and she is not letting go anytime soon.
No, I'm Luck maining all the way from now on. This is sealed it for me. I did say a little bit earlier in the chat, I was watching, I was like, you know what, we've seen a Darius. I want to see a Luck. Is it possible we even see a Garen?
Man, it is truly a wondrous world, and I don't want to jinx anything. I think this truly shows that anything is possible, and to play it to a high degree as well. Here might be the game-winning play. It is that Imperial Decree.
Yeah, I think this about seals it now. So obviously everything that takes damage has to die. So you send 4 versus 4 here. Although there is a hidden card. Could this play a role? We'll see.
We are seeing a restructuring of the units. We'll do it one by one as to minimize any risk possible. But some drawing extra cards, unless there is an intercontinental nuclear missile hiding in that deck, I think it might not be enough.
No, and it looks like a Siphon Power. Does that make a difference here?
Not too much. A single damage will still be enough, and he's not draining all that much at all. So they will be pin by pin. They will be torn asunder as the last battlefield is looking to get conquered by Demasia's unending reign of supremacy.
These players are proving us wrong.
Yeah, and that is the beauty of it, isn't it? That is why I'm clocking in here, because this really is the breeding ground of innovation and the proving ground of inventors looking to get a foothold into the meta. Now, with our ultimate game coming too, we have an Obelisk of Power coming through. So we will be channeling an extra rune. Will they take advantage of it? A Viktor, like we said before, will always be able to smooth out these curves and will have an absolutely flying start to this match.
Yeah, and generally, as I said, like the meta or the way the game is played at the moment, like this best of 3 format, when you play your 3rd round, you kind of want that battlefield that goes, do you know what, this only benefits me? But ramping Lux early could benefit Lux more than Viktor in this case. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. And we do see the Noxian Drummer coming straight out here, which basically will allow the Lux to make free tokens every time that moves. And we've seen the Lux take advantage of this movement already, you know, reconquering battlefields, coming back to base. The writing's on the wall already. I don't know. I'm just all in on Lux right now, Bandit. I'm all in.
Yeah, I can tell, but I mean, I think it's very important that it's clear that this Lux hasn't really taken advantage of the extra rune now, has she? Meanwhile, the Viktor has, and he's looking to get some more onto the field. And this Tarfarian War Camp, we are assuming it is coming from the Lux, who had no other choice than to play our last battlefield into the last match. And I think the foothold you're gathering yourself is either fight me at the Tarfarian War Camp, or take this other battlefield I do not care about and will actually benefit from. I already got the points for conquering it. It is up to you to deal with it. I think Viktor is really cementing himself, getting the hidden cards down, and, well, we can only assume there's going to be more and more draw, keeping him in a lead even more. This Viktor is on a absolutely murdering tempo, keeping pace, and Lux has to find the answers to catch up, and see they have to come now.
Yeah, they definitely do. Like, Viktor getting tempo in the mid game is just bad for anybody playing against him. And as we saw, I was saying, like, Lux might take advantage of Viktor's battlefield, but Viktor is definitely taking advantage of this Trifarian war camp. The more units you put there, the more might you get. And we already know Viktor likes to play those power siphons, which completely enhances those advantages. But you're right, if Lux doesn't start building this board, starts fighting back, might just lose it in the mid game. But you got to look at Viktor as well. He's down to 4 runes at the moment, only 1 available, and only 3 cards in hand. But I would expect this to be
But what
bit
do
of
we
a
know?
quicker turn. Yeah, exactly.
What can we get from his palm reading? Because we know there's a hidden card that might be, consult the past. We have seen it before. Very, very powerful. Topping up that hand. If Lux wants to even think about keeping up with the murdering pace that Viktor has set out, she will have to want to contest the Obelisk of Power, which has a Soaring Scout in it, which will replenish that rune reserve just a little tiny bit. And I think if you can get yourself enough breathing room to recover from maybe one of the grander plays that Lux might be cooking up, as she is expanding her hand size constantly, you might be in a good place. And I think the one thing that you really have going for you as Lux right now is that drummer being able to, get a little extra body out on the board. It might be, going down to a Soaring Scout, but you need to cover yourself off from these colder weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we saw the Lux just doing a bit of math in her head there, and the sprite
She
number
did what?
comes down. Bit of math.
Oh,
Mathematics.
okay, no, that, yeah, no,
Oh, no, not the other thing. No. We don't want to get banned off Twitch. You're definitely doing mathematics.
Yeah.
No,
Let's clarify that.
10 might here. 10 might.
And she will be contesting the Tarfarian war camp, bringing war to the Viktor in a absolutely massive way.
Yeah, that's a big load of units going into that war camp, and the hidden card was the blade. And Lux does get to draw a few off here, and I think Viktor, if the math is correct here, Viktor gets to hold this battlefield. So it's a big investment. You give your opponent a couple of cards, but you do get that hold point, and that's going to build up that lead more and more for the Viktor.
Yeah, now we are scrambling up our reactions a little tiny bit. Cards resolving a bit out of order as cards one after another going down into the graveyard. But it will end up fruitless for the Lux. And I think that is really, really big, because Viktor will be holding on. The Lux will not be harvesting any victory points whatsoever. And despite not holding the Trifarian war camp, Viktor will just conquer that with a single little recruit, and he will be expanding his lead to 4. And suddenly the investments made by the Lux are not paying off in the way that we were expecting them to. And now this leaves room for the Viktor to get himself established, get some more developing plays going on to replenish that ever-draining hand of his.
Yeah, this is a great play by Viktor, and this is why Viktor's so strong, because you can reinforce that, especially with Trifarian Warcamp, you can reinforce that with lots of little bodies, giving them 2 might instead of 1. But also, as we saw here, the Viktor can just have something ready in his base. So if the trade is even, he just gets to conquer next turn anyway. And this is the value of Viktor, and this is why it is such a strong deck at the moment. Lux has got a battle here, 4-0. Big hand, lots of runes, but this
and we
is a
have
tough
been
spot
played
to battle
before.
from.
We have been led astray before, doubting a Lux and her capabilities of holding on to a battlefield in the mid game, right? She has definitely come back in that first game from a major deficit, cutting it really, really close. And the Siphon powers might be very important here once again. We'll be sacrificing a single unit for it. Will it be enough? Because that is a major investment to get rid of what? A token. That is not really the payoff you're looking for as a Viktor. So major investments being done in an ever decreasing rune pool, an ever decreasing hand size. Meanwhile, Lux is reigning supreme in the resource department.
Yeah, definitely. Victor's investing a lot to maintain this lead and to stop Lux building up that point deficit. But he's spending a lot of resources to do it. We can see all the runes that have been recycled. We can see his hand size being 2, but he does have a 4-1 point now. Lux finally scoring her first point of this match, and it's not the start you want, but could it be the mid game that you want?
Yeah, and I think that is really where you can decide it all. That is the point where your piloting skills come up on top, where you really will be reaping the benefits of expanding on that hand size, drawing those extra cards from Hidden Blade, drawing those extra cards that your legend itself gives you. But they have to come up rather soon, and you have to start punishing these extension plays coming down from the Victor, because once that Victor hits the board, it becomes even harder for the Lux to really punish or take advantage of getting rid of these throwaway non-recruit units that the Victor fields on the battlefield.
Yeah, the Victor leader champion, obviously, every time a non-recruit token dies on your side, you get to generate a recruit token. It just builds that battlefield up more and more. It allows you to do these little conquers here and there, allows you to do these little swing backs, and we're seeing a lot of that. But Victor has such a good lead right now. Lux is going to have to do a lot to recover these points, and I'm not sure if it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of cards in there that can change the tide of this battle very quickly. Sprite Mother's being one of them, actually, because you can just run sprites into sprites. I'm happy to take that trade all day, Bandit.
Yeah, that will definitely get yourself with another foot in the door. And as this Victor is inching closer to victory, as he's getting on that so treacherous 6 victory points, the tank is running on empty. I'll be very honest here. And that is the very deceitful aspect of Riftbound. Victory may seem so close at hand, especially at 7 points. It might be further away than it was ever before, because the gas is just running out for this Victor. With only a single card left, the base is absolutely bursting, but you are looking for a decisive finish to it all. And with one card, just the odds that that one card is your key to victory is slim, but it's definitely not 0.
Now, I mean, one grand stratagem, one Imperial
That'll
Decree, one
That'll do
Watcher,
it.
and all of a sudden you've got a big battlefield full of scary units, and yeah, Lux doesn't like big battlefields full of scary units, especially not when your opponent's on 6 points. But
Yeah, well, I mean, she
And
loved it
it's
in
still anyone's
game
game.
2, I will say.
yeah, absolutely, But it's,
When they're hers, it's fine. A bit
Yeah,
hypocritical, if you ask me, from a Demacian.
Singularity, that's actually a really, really powerful card for Lux in this situation. It gets rid of 2 scarier bodies, and it also lets you draw a card because of Lux's effect. So it trades itself out, but it's a lot of runes, and we just saw.
Yeah, and look at the targets. Look at the targets as well, right? You got rid of a single recruit and a
Yeah.
Sprite Mother. Sprite Mother, all right, nice, love that. But a recruit, I mean, I get that you don't want to give away over the advantage, right, of the death knell effects popping off, but it really shows how desperate this Lux is to get any form of advantage in this match. They'll do anything just to trigger the legend ability and drawing her single extra card.
Yeah, the only thing going for Lux right now is the lack of hand size for Victor, and killing those death knell units, letting them draw 1, could have been the end of the game. So it was the right choice to kill the recruit, but it doesn't feel good to use a spell that size to kill a 1 might recruit in someone's base. But could it have made the difference? Could it have made the difference?
And here's the thing: even though the Victor might be low on cards right now, he does have the leeway in the game state to just have a breathing turn, to get himself back onto more strength, develop his cards, develop his board state, get himself once again in a more dominant position on the battlefield, and really push hard onto the Lux's neck, who is trying to get a breather for herself. Will be granted it just a little bit, but man, she needs more. The Victor is very, very close. Can she endure the next wave of fire raining down upon her in this maybe final turn. That's a lot of runes being
The
tapped
runes.
here.
That's a lot of runes. Oh, it's a singularity. And that might just do it. It clears the battlefields. We see the death knell going in and trading. And now Viktor is free to conquer both. Take your points, Viktor.
Oh.
Well played by the Lux, though. What a game.
Yeah, truly back and forth. We've seen dominant games. We've seen close calls. But in the end, Viktor will reign supreme. And I think an outcome we were all expecting. A blue-white deck is taking the victory in this one.